going on, guys, and welcome to Armor Check. Today we're going to be doing the Volcanic Plate armor, which is actually my second set of 5-star armor after I started with the Azure. And you got a lot of normal defense. It's actually maxed out, which is really nice, that you can defend against stuff like gremlins and their attacks. And you got Stun and Fire Defense, which is max Fire Defense, which I'm actually surprised about. It seems that with both pieces of armor you get max fire defense and a devastatingly low sleep debuff. Wow. But I don't think any enemy really gives sleep, so you won't have to worry too much about that. And you also get some attack speed decrease medium on both sets of armor, so I think that should be at least high or very high, something like that. So as you can see, we have the Koravod and the Iron Slug equipped. Sadly, I do not have the 5-star Samurai. I forget what it's called, Samuratska. I don't know what the actual weapon's called. It's something like that. So as you can see, these are both very heavy in normal damage, and the one I would recommend more is the Iron Slug, and I'll show you why in a second. So as you can see, you have max fire defense and max stun defense, so those Trojans won't be getting you. And actually for Vanna, I made this for Vanna so I can be resistant to fire, and hopefully I actually didn't know too much about defenses. Even though I've been playing the game for so long, I thought I would be able to defend against the Slags, which is actually not the case. It's because the Slags and Vanna do dark damage, and this has elemental defense, so you're going to be defending against, you know, so things like turrets and robots and stuff like that, rather than the thing that rather than Vanna Duke's skeletons. So looking at the armor once more, we have some serious elemental. We have some better elemental defense than the Mad Bomber armor, which I'm going to do another video on because I recorded it before, but I'm going to show you guys another video on that. So it has a lot of elemental defense, so I would recommend bringing this on something like I don't know, maybe Built to Destroy or something like that. Even though it doesn't have shock defense, which it'd be better if you brought something else. But if you have a sprite buff on shock defense, you should be good with that. So a lot of elemental defense, which actually doesn't really help too much on Vanna. Vanna Duke, it's actually one of my favorite looking armors, especially because of this helmet. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. And I usually wear a lot of my volcanic costumes. Is this armor Vannable? Like, can you play Elite Vanna Duke? Because that's the max mission that I always put my standards at. Sadly, I don't have the plate shield either. But can you play Elite Vanna Duke with this armor? Well, let's see. Alright, so we're on the Vanna level, and as you can see all those fire pads, I'm going to show you guys an example on how much damage the fire actually gives us with our max fire defense, and see if it's actually a thing you should watch out for, even if should you just not care about it, if you just disregard it. So let's see about this fire pad. So that gives us about 6 bars of damage, and in total it gave us about like 8 bars of damage, which I would recommend since you don't start the level off with the Vitapod, which is right there, but I'm not going to get it for the purpose of the review. That you should still watch out for fire, even though that you have a defense against it. I don't know if the fire gives elemental damage. I'm not really sure. So it seems that we would have all the defenses against the fire. However, with this armor, it doesn't really help too much. Now, mind you guys, this is with absolutely no sprite buff, so I didn't even equip my sprite, so I have no buffs on. So as you can see, I just died. It's good because we're going to replenish our health. And I feel as if this armor deserves a little bit more lives for what it is, and it seems like I'm lacking a lot of health when it's a plate armor and I'm decreasing attack speed. I feel like I should get more health. Here's the Iron Slug demonstration where we're just gonna fire at this. And the only reason I recommend the Iron Slug as one of your secondary weapons for every mission is one, because it does max normal damage, well, almost max, just a little bit off max normal damage, and it does it repeatedly. So as you can see, it pushes back the enemy, and oh, that wasn't a good example. That was sort of a broken example. And as you can see, it can push back enemies. Let me find it with a little more health. Here we go. It pushes back the enemy and hits them multiple times. I think it can hit up to like around four, maybe 5 times, depending on where the enemy is. And it gives normal damage, so it's going to do the same damage to every single enemy that you hit it with. And it does a lot of damage. It's a very heavy gun. So I don't recommend this for your secondary weapon in any mission actually. But and as you know, in Vanna Duke, it requires certain special weapons for a certain kind of effect on the boss. So as you can see, we're going to start this up here and see how the Koravod performs in a mission like this. And of course, the Koravod is not the 5-star version of its thing. So it's not the pinnacle. It's not the epitome of what it could be. So the Koravod I wouldn't recommend wearing with the plate armor. If you had the Swift Strike Buckler with you, then it might have been a better choice, because it is extremely slow, giving you an opening for enemies to attack you. And as you can see, if you don't have that the little bit of life boost that they maybe get on level 10, then you don't really have a lot to go off of. So the super attack is actually pretty nice. It gives stun, which a lot of the heavy weapons do, including the Iron Slug, which is another reason you should get it. And it's I feel like the Iron Slug is, even though it's a different type of weapon, it's a better weapon overall to have over the Korvad. And for the heavy, I would just recommend a brandish type weapon. Of course, I would recommend the Voltage, it being one of my favorite out of the 3 brandishes, even though I don't have it with me. So I personally have the Glacier, so I recommend the Voltage for a heavy and pretty much any other class. So thank you guys so much for watching this first armor check. This is the first ever armor check I've ever, well, it's actually not the first ever that I've recorded, but it's the first ever I'm going to put out. So thank you guys for watching it. If you guys want more armor check, then leave a like and recommend some armors for me to try out, and I'll see if I can get my hands on them. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.